Good afternoon, Chief Guest of the day, Mumma sir, Abraham sir, other distinguished guests of the dais. The following are the salient features which emerged out of the deliberations which happened during today and yesterday. The first point, India and the US in the current geopolitical changes share by and large the same threat perceptions and security concerns. At the same time, both the countries have different sets of systems to address the larger security concerns, and it was believed among the participants that both the countries have to learn from each other's experiences. Second, in India, the national security comes under the union list, and the internal security issues come under the orbit of the state list. The US, on the other hand, has been able to devise a holistic mechanism after September 11, 2001, where integration of a number of security measures are led and coordinated by the Department of Homeland Security. The President of the US obviously calls the shot at the apex level of the decision making. The center-state relations, as far as the maintenance of national security is concerned, need to be understood in the political context of both the countries. Third, the participants discussed on the US experience of federal working of tackling the diverse challenges and threats that face the states and the federal governments in terms of resources, expertise and operational experiences. 4. The imperative for establishing NCTC, National Counter-Terrorism Center, in the context of India seemed to be a necessity, but the discussion centered on the need to reinvigorate the existing institutions dealing with either intelligence gathering or countering terrorism. 5. There was a consensus among the participants that advances in the field of science and technology have made the nation states across the globe highly vulnerable. Cybersecurity, as a case in point, was deliberated and linked with the as major challenge of India's national security and the US as well. 6. The discussion centered on left-wing extremism in India and how it is impacting negatively on India's security. The rationale for left-wing extremism was explained and included discussions of the causes of insurgencies such as inequality and alternative mechanisms to deal with left-wing extremism were elaborated. 7. There was a differing perspective on the migration issues, especially in terms of correlating the problems emanating from illegal migration and linking it with both the state and national security. 8. While discussing violent non-state actors and their emerging role, it was stressed that there are ways by which the nation states like India and the US can cooperate collectively and counter the perils emanating from such negative forces. The role of Al-Qaeda and its affiliates in particular was underscored during the deliberations. 9. In the emerging international system, the participants argued the need to strengthen the concept of responsibility to protect civilians during armed conflict between the state and the people. The ensuing debate on the responsibility to protect highlighted a greater understanding of the themes relating to the responsibility to protect civilians and the necessary measures undertaken by the states under the auspices of the UN. 10. During the session on regional security dynamics, there was a consensus among the participants that maritime security has emerged as a major concern for the nation states across the globe. The challenges are immense, but unfortunately the collective means to address those challenges are limited. There is a need to create awareness about the various maritime security threats, including piracy, terrorism, and the protection of the sea lanes of communication. There is certainly a growing fear that if India and the US don't take the lead in managing maritime affairs, then the chances of instability and conflict in the maritime domain will be higher. 11. The participants also deliberated the challenges to maritime security from a legal perspective. Unfortunately, there are no comprehensive mechanisms and laws for collective security in the maritime domain. The UN clause seems to be inadequate because of the dynamic nature of geopolitical changes. It was emphasized that the nation states have to understand the growing concerns and evolve a comprehensive international law dealing with these emerging complexities. 12. The participants also deliberated on the need to have an effective policing mechanism through community police partnership. Such partnership would help in strengthening human intelligence, and such process would help in building mutual trust and confidence, which ultimately would become an important tool in the maintenance of national security. The theme of coastal security and the role of fishermen were also featured as a part of major debate and discussion. It was highlighted that India in particular has a responsibility to protect its huge coastline of 7,516 kilometers. The responsibility to protect the coastline lies with the state government. In this context, the role of fishermen, especially in gathering intelligence as a part of human intelligence, human security measure, was underscored. The major observations made were mainly in the context of the geopolitical challenges and how India would require situating itself. Undoubtedly, India and the United States would require to put a concerted effort in addressing to the concerns and needs. The bilateral counterterrorism effort in terms of intelligence sharing needs to be strengthened for a better coordination and redressal of the severe menace. There is certainly a need to intensify the bilateral cooperation in every sphere. Thank you.